All right, we're at the second protest of the day, and it is all the way at the end of this block. It is quite the pathetic and sad turnout. There's about maybe 12 people there holding signs, Palestinian flags, kefias, whatever you say that, kafiyas. And it's just really sad turnout. I'm disappointed at St. Pete. I thought there'd be at least 100 people out there right now. Look who's calling me, guys. PatrioticPapi. Yo, PatrioticPapi, what up? Just come meet me. Come meet me. I'm on the opposite corner of the protest. No, there's like 12 people. Look who it is. It's Batty and her tactical gear. Black on black on black.
I was wondering, I said, is this too much black?
I mean, no, it's who you are.
I need your opinion again. Glasses? No glasses.
Well, no glasses, because you never know if these people are going to get violent.
Well, that's not a good reason.
They might take a swing at you, and then, you know, you might
look better in?
You might get Savannah Craven.
What do I look better in? Glasses or no glasses?
Can I be honest with you, Batty? You look really good both ways.
That doesn't help. People on live said glasses looked better. All right, let's try the glasses for one interview.
All right, let's try it.
All right. And does my hair look good in a ponytail, or you didn't?
Yeah, I think it looks great, especially because you got that American flag, which might trigger these people, by the way.
You shouldn't.
This is like an anti-colonial protest.
See this?
Yeah.
One of my followers got it for me on my wish list.
Oh, that's a video?
It's a body cam.
Is it filming now?
Yeah.
Hey guys, you're gonna have to send me that footage.
Yeah, so in case anybody, gets violent.
It does audio too?
I think so, yeah.
All right, so what's the plan today? Just want to ask some questions?
Yeah. Ask them like what brings them out here, how they feel about everything going on.
All right. You're gonna do interviews?
Yes.
Really?
Yeah, this is like,
Oh, no, what I
I agree, I disagree with Trump on a lot of things. Like, I'm more liberal than most Trump supporters, right? Clearly, but this was the main reason why I support Trump, the border. So, like, that's why I'm going all in, because it's like, this is like the main reason I wanted him to be president in the first place.
Yeah. And is your mom staying here for safety reasons?
Yeah, she's probably...
She got the AC running?
I hope so.
Yeah, she deserves it. It's a little hot out here today,
But yeah,
right?
my mom's right there making sure shit don't pop off. She's gonna come with me tomorrow too in Tampa.
All right, word, let's do it.
To the sea!
There you go.
Yeah.
From the river to the sea!
Are y'all here together?
Yeah.
Free Palestine!
And then
So what's the agenda today?
Free Palestine!
pretty much just to be out here and protest for the freedom of human beings. I mean, I'm not really the spokesman for our group. I'm just here to hand out flyers and see.
Oh, you're not part of the event, really?
I mean, I am. I'm a part of it. I'm just not a very good spokesperson for it because I'm brand new here. But I am here to give out information. And if you wanted to leave your name, number, things like that, we can definitely send
Oh, we're just here to just
information.
capture footage and document what's going on. That's all.
Yeah, okay.
Thank you so much, for the offer.
Definitely point you in the direction of the right person.
It says a call to white people. Stand in solidarity with the African, Mexican, indigenous, and Palestinian and oppressed peoples of the world. All right. Very
So
cool.
is this like a ICE protest or a Palestinian protest?
A little bit of everything.
Okay.
Cool.
A little bit of everything. So,
Thanks for being out here today.
thank you. I appreciate it. I
you.
appreciate it a lot.
All right, the mic's on. Just make sure you turn it around. The camera.
Which one?
That's the mic.
Okay.
So flip it around.
Like this.
There you go. Let me see. Make sure it's running. Yeah, it's working.
Hello.
How you doing?
Good. Please. Yeah, thank you so much.
You can ask her questions.
Hi, do you mind if I ask you questions for our YouTube channel?
Can I know who you guys are
The
with?
Progressive Latino X.
Okay, right on. Nice to meet you. Okay, sure thing.
If you had to say anything to Donald Trump right now, what would it be?
I would say that I don't know if I necessarily talk to that man, but I would say that there's not a difference between Trump and a Biden, a Democrat or a Republican. That it was under Biden's administration that they were dropping bombs on Gaza, and it was under Obama's administration where they deported, I think, more people than any other president in U.S. history. So there is no difference between them, and Trump is just, I guess, a bit more honest in terms of how he feels about the people whose lives he lives, at the expense of. So, that's what that is. And so we can't see this as it's a big bad Trump thing, because if Kamala Harris was in office, we'd be doing the same exact thing. And we'd be having the same exact demand, which is to free indigenous land, free Africa and African people, and free Palestine.
So tomorrow is supposed to be the biggest protests of the year, the No Kings. Are you attending tomorrow?
I'll have to see what we're doing here, yeah.
Cool. There's been some intel that's been leaking online today that some underground chat groups on the left wing of politics plan on going undercover in MAGA gear tomorrow and causing violence to make the MAGA movement look bad. And the reason why they're doing that is because the LA riots have been in the news. The left wing of politics has been violent. The right wing has been pretty calm since Trump took over. They're trying to put something in the news that MAGA is violent, and that's the plan tomorrow. Have you heard anything about this?
I have not.
What would you say to people on the left wing that plan on being violent tomorrow?
I would say that those forces are probably most likely agent provocateurs.
Do you think they're right-wingers, left-wingers, or just people that want to agitate?
I think that they are probably forces of the state who get sent into demonstrations and things like that as...
like federal agents.
Like federal agents, exactly. That get sent into these places to stir the pot. That way it's justified state violence against the part of protesters. So...
So, January 6th. Do you believe that there were federal agents as well as left-wing agitators in the crowd?
I mean, I can't say that there wasn't or there was, but I just think that,
You went with your gut, though.
I mean, I don't want to just give out, information because, like I said, I represent an organization, and so, that carries with it a political line and also integrity. So I'm not just going to spew off things based off my feelings, but I just know that...
This girl's been trained for PR. She's smart.
But I just know that January 6th was an important kind of development when we look at the crisis of imperialism. So, yeah.
So do you support what happened on J6? Do you think it's a good step in the direction that the people stood up, even if you might not have agreed for the reason? Do you support the American people standing up against the government?
Like I said, I am, looking at the situation from our organizational standpoint, and that it was a very important reflection of a crisis of imperialism where you have one sector of the colonizer population turning against its own government. And, whereas like with LA and, throughout the country where people are standing up for Mexico and indigenous people, Palestinians, you have a situation where the colonized are fighting, to take off the shackles of colonialism. And then you have a situation where the colonizer kind of turns inward on itself and fights itself. And so that's a kind of interesting type of development, that we, I don't think, have we seen that since like the, American Revolution?
Sometimes we like to leave the protest and talk to passersby like yourself. I see you took one of their flyers.
I did.
What do you think about what's happening here today? What are your thoughts?
I mean, I think it's at this really difficult time, it's important for everyone to voice their opinions and to get out there and say what they think is important.
Do you plan on voicing your opinion tomorrow? It's supposed to be the largest day of nationwide protests, the No Kings protest.
I did not know that.
Yeah, it's been backed by a lot of rich mega donors and corporations. That's the rumors that are going around.
Really?
Do you have no plans to go tomorrow? It's about 500 different cities tomorrow.
No, I hadn't heard anything about it till you just mentioned it.
And when it comes to the mass deportations, that's something that these people are standing out here for. What's your view on the mass deportations? Do you support it or are you against it?
No, I'm absolutely against it. I think it's ridiculous, and I think the people's rights that are being infringed upon and habeas corpus and not being able to have even a trial or anything and just scooping people up for no reason and tracking people down for no reason is ridiculous.
So what should we do with someone who is found to have entered the country illegally? What's your view on that? How will we solve that problem?
That is probably beyond my pay grade. I don't really know how to solve it, but I'm not on infringing on people's rights and discriminating against people because they look different, seem different.
Have you ever been to Mexico before?
I have a very long time ago.
Where did you visit?
Cancun.
Cancun. How did you get into the country when you visited?
Flew.
And if you went there illegally, let's say you crossed into Mexico illegally,
okay,
and their government caught you,
yeah,
what do you think would happen to you if they found out that you're there illegally, you're not paying your taxes, And let's say you've done nothing wrong. What do
Yeah.
you think would happen?
Well, I mean, I think I'd be detained and questioned and probably maybe arrested for doing it illegally. But I would expect if I break the law, then I'm held accountable if I get caught.
What
in
if
any
you
situation.
What if you broke it to like Japan illegally and you just, they found out? What do you think would happen there?
I have no idea, but
I'll tell you what would happen. All of these countries would arrest you and they would deport you. It's kind of what we're doing. I mean, doesn't it? If they could do it, why can't we do it?
well, they can if it's just. If it's truly illegal, then okay, then you're breaking the law in some reason. But what is happening today is not that. People are being targeted for the color of their skin and, whatever, and they are legal or they are following the right process to get legal or be here legally, even if it's temporary, and they're being deported.
And the last thing I'll say is I'm a brown immigrant from Mexico. I was born in Mexico, immigrated here. I'm legal, by the way. By the way, I'm legal. Do you think I should be in fear right now?
Yes,
You think so?
I would be.
You would be in fear if you were a brown person?
Yes, absolutely, 100%.
So if
I'm afraid for my friends that have brown skin.
So if I were to tell you that I'm not fearful at all and I think it's being blown out of proportion, what would you say to that?
Really? I'd be shocked.
Yeah,
I'd be surprised.
Yeah, I'm legal. I'm not worried at all. I don't ever think about at fear of being deported, ever. It's not even a concern. Because I'm legal. I'm legal. I'm here legally. I've been here for 40 plus years.
And lots of people are legal that have been here and they're still being harassed or stopped or yanked away from their
There's been a few
families.
cases, I know what you're talking about. There's been a few cases
More
where
than a few.
citizens have been, but my view on that is human error is always going to come with mistakes. And I think the amount of citizens that have been picked up accidentally fall within the realm of human error. I don't think it's happening I don't think it's that big of an issue. I think it might be happening maybe 1% of 1% of the time.
Okay.
That's my view.
Okay.
I don't have data to back that up.
And it's okay.
Yeah.
It's okay to have a differing opinion.
So I'm sure you've seen some of the images that went viral on the news this week from the LA riots. There was the image of the guy on the motorcycle waving the Mexican flag with the car burning behind him. A lot of people said, if these people want to be in America so badly, shouldn't they be waving the American flag just as an optic, right? Optically, it looks better to wave the country of the flag you want to be in. So I'm just curious, how do you feel about that response that some right-wingers have been given when you're holding the Mexican flag here today? And I don't think you're Mexican, by the way.
I'm not, and this land belongs to the indigenous people. Mexican people are, indigenous to this land, and California was stolen from Mexico at gunpoint. So the flag that everybody should be waving is the Mexican flag.
So you think we should be having this instead of the red, white, and blue in this country?
I think this land needs to go back to the indigenous people. And we need to pay reparations for the several hundred years of stolen wealth and destroyed lives, and for African, indigenous, and other colonized people around the world.
So what's your first name?
Janice.
Janice? All right, let's say you are now President Janice. I wave the magic wand. You are now President Janice. Would you make California Mexico if you could do that today?
Well, it's not. I wouldn't be president of the United States. I would not. This land, like I said, belongs to indigenous people, so that's who needs to be president.
So what would you do today? Like, you come in, you're now the president. Let's just say you get chosen by the people, and now you are the president of the United States of America. What do you do with the land? What is your next move?
It goes back to the indigenous people. All the resources need to go back to the people of the world that they were stolen from.
And what happens to the government systems we have in place right now?
They need to go. All they do is kill and exploit people around the world. So we need a new world.
And in 2028, is there anyone on the radar that you think you'd be looking to vote for, that you want to see run?
I haven't seen anyone.
So there's not been one person that you've thought in politics that, wow, they'd be a good option for us?
I haven't seen anyone. I think that the real key of what's going to make change is all the resistance of people colonized people around the world. So that what you're seeing in LA, what you see in Africa right now, in the Sahel and other areas, that's what's going to make the change.
And last question, what would you say to Donald Trump if he was standing here in front of you right now?
I really don't have anything to say to him. I mean, he needs to go.
Well, he's going to go in 2028. And this is his last term.
He needs to go right this moment.
So I just want to ask, what does your sign say?
It says ICE equals Colonial Occupation Army.
Okay, and do you want to elaborate on what that means?
Yeah, I mean, the ICE...
Oh, sorry, so sorry.
ICE, like other U.S. agencies, is a colonial entity. And with regard to so-called illegal migrants, we're talking about indigenous people. Mexican people, Chicano people, Central American people are indigenous to this land. Far more so than anybody in the U.S. government, right? So these entities represent a occupation army, especially when we're talking about L.A., when we're talking about California. As my comrade Janice just mentioned, all that land was stolen at gunpoint in the Mexican-American War.
So correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not sure if this is right. I probably have to go home and research it. But I thought that Mexico sold those lands for like $15 million. It was a bad deal, but did they sell it?
No, it was stolen at gunpoint in a very violent conflict that had been brewing for decades. And I mean, it goes... It's worth saying that the entire reason it was stolen, like the reason that the U.S. followed through with Manifest Destiny, was to get more territory for slave plantations, to expand slavery. You know, so there's, it's been a colonial project from day one. The presence of all Europeans on this land since 1492 is a colonial genocidal presence. So I don't see any legitimacy to ICE or any other component of the U.S. government. And indigenous people have to have control of their land once again.
So something that I asked, I'm sorry, what's her name, Janice? So I understand Mexican and indigenous kind of go hand in hand, but what would you say about people from like different countries that are coming over the border, like undocumented? Do you think that they also should have a right to be here undocumented, or are you strictly defending Mexican/indigenous people?
No, we're defending all colonized and oppressed people who come here, quote unquote, illegally. Because what was the legal process by which the original white settlers came here? Was it their guns and their raping and pillaging that made it legitimate or legal? There was no process. It was unbelievable, unrelenting violence. Right, and it is still violence to this day. It's a violent, colonial, parasitic state, and it legalizes itself. It has this completely illegitimate process of saying who is legal and who is illegal. And another thing, when we're talking about other colonized people who are coming to the U.S., whether it's the people of Haiti, right, or whether the people from Africa or places in the Middle East, they are coming for their own resources. Right? It's the U.S. and Europe goes into these lands and steals the resources that belong to them so that they cannot have a viable economy. So they are following their resources back to the center of the crime, of, you know, the place that's stealing them and hoarding them here, just like Europe does the same thing to Africa and to Asia and to the Arab and Persian world.
Okay, so a lot of people say, well, what about Lake and Raleigh? What about Jocelyn? What do you say to people that think that we should at least vet people that come into the country so we're not putting Americans at risk? Do you think that there should be a vetting process? How do you feel about that?
No, I won't get into a discussion like that, because I think that the thing that's going to help Americans and white people in general to not be at risk is to stop being a violent, colonizing, warmongering presence on the planet Earth. Stop being the enemies of the peoples of the world, and then we'll know safety.
So you think that kind of like white people bought on themselves for causing destruction everywhere else?
Absolutely. Well, we bring it on ourselves, but our government brings it on us. Our government does these things in our name, and all too often we as white people have enthusiastically participated in these attacks on colonized people, whether it's indigenous people, African people, or the peoples of the world.
But my last question, if Donald Trump was standing in front of you right now, what would you say to him?
I'd say hands off indigenous people, hands off Mexican people, ICE out of the barrios, return the land to indigenous people.
So I just found out something so crazy. My mom, she actually used to work with the same movement. Mom, tell them about that, because I did not know that.
Yes, back in the day, a long time ago when I was a teenager, I was actually a part of Uhuru, which is the movement that they're affiliated with. And I just came out here to watch her in the background. And then I heard them talking, and then I heard them say Uhuru, and I'm like, oh, wait a minute, what? So that is the organization. I used to be an activist myself. I am now a certified human rights consultant and life coach and all that. But I do believe in standing up for human rights. And so that's something that's in my blood and something that I will never leave. So I reconnected with them, and I think it's awesome what they're doing out here today. I'm looking forward to reconnecting and seeing them again, because I believe in fighting for human rights, and so I just definitely feel like they have a wonderful cause, and I'm happy that I was a part of it back in the day, and happy to reconnect with them today.
I will say the last protest I went to, they're nothing like that. These people seem pretty educated. They're really nice. So I really can't say anything bad about these people. We might disagree, but all respect to these people.
So I got to say, like, these people, a lot of them do have good hearts, but the way I view it is every single ethnicity, every single skin color, every single nationality, we all have ancestral trauma that happened 300, 400, 500 years ago. I think Elon Musk said it best. It's not a matter of if there was trauma, it was a matter of when. How far are you willing to go back? Everyone's got it. I mean, my Mexican people, they were colonized by Spain. They erased the native language, right? Mexico has a lot of trauma there from the Spanish colonialism. But what am I going to live with, this victim in mindset in 2025? I live in America now. Life is great here. We are free to have the pursuit of happiness. And so I get where they're coming from. I understand their heart's in a good place, but at some point you got to move forward. You got to live in the moment and follow the laws of today. Otherwise, you're always going to keep causing chaos and chaos and chaos, and we have to have law and order and peace. And that's why I always say, God bless Trump and God bless America. All right, Batty, your turn.
So as you guys know, I'm getting more used to like doing interviews, but that was a little hard for me because I like felt it in my heart where they were coming from, even though I disagree, because I just feel like we have to vet people. We have to protect Americans. Laken Riley is not responsible for what her ancestors did. We don't even know if her ancestors did anything. So, white people are not like a collective that you can punish for something that happened centuries ago. But I do understand where their hearts are coming from. And I do think, here's the thing, I do think most liberals come from a good place. Like, I don't hate people that are liberals. But this, like what I went to today is a lot different from the Tampa protest that you guys see me in. These people like seemed pretty educated and they seemed like they had really good hearts. They weren't just spewing hate. So I respect them. It was kind of hard. I know you guys might be disappointed that I wasn't like getting back with them. It was just a little hard, because I know that their hearts are in the right place. And I'm not here to just troll all the time and like ask like rage bait questions. I'm here to have good conversations, and I do think we had good conversations. We might disagree, but I understand that their hearts are in the right place. And that's what I have to say. I'm going to start doing more interviews. Hopefully you guys enjoy it.
Where can they find you?
PatrioticPapi on X, TikTok, and Instagram.
And?
What else?
And?
YouTube. I'm going to start posting more YouTube, guys.
Hell yeah.
No way. Hey,
Cody Kid, can you sit?
We have
He's so happy. What's his name?
His name's Cody.
Cody. Hi, Cody. You beautiful eyes. Hi, baby.
There you go, right in there.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I got a random question for you. Let me flip around there with the light. Hold on. Would you rather deport 10,000 illegals or 10,000 puppies? You have to choose.
No, I can't choose.
Would you rather deport 10,000 puppies or 10,000 illegal humans? People that came here illegally.
Puppies.
You choose the puppies, so you'll keep the illegal people?
I mean, what's illegal?
You went to the border illegally. You didn't go through a port of entry. You didn't get a visa.
And does that still make it wrong? I don't know.
Well, it's considered a misdemeanor, so legally it would be.
I know, but
Yeah.
is that right? I don't know.
It's considered a criminal act. That's all I'm saying. So you would keep the illegals and deport the
I
puppies.
don't think we should deport anybody. I think we should figure it out.
That's a very
Puppies,
heartfelt
people.
response.
Yeah, I mean, we just have to figure it out. They
Thank
came
you.
here for a reason, right? They need something that we have, and
But what about the American taxpayers that are funding their health care, their living, their welfare, their SNAP, their EBT?
are we?
Yeah, that's where it's coming from. I mean, we're the ones paying in the
And they're
system.
not contributing at all.
Some of them are, but not all of them.
Some of them, and then some
Overall.
of the other folks aren't either.
Agree.
Yeah.
Overall, by the way, illegals are a net drain on the economy. All right, that was a nice little aperitif before tomorrow, No King's Day. Definitely had some good conversations here. We were not here to troll or trigger, just here to get some opinions from the protesters as well as some passersby on the street. And again, if you like this kind of content, you know what to do, gibsongo.com/AdamFrancisco. And don't forget, guys, we are the media now. We get to go out, we get to have extended conversations. You watch the news and, you know, they'll put us on for like sound bites, right? You guys saw my Fox interview appearance this week. I think I might have said like 25 total words. That's all they can really do on the news. It's just sound bites. But we, the people, the new journalists, the new media, we get to talk to people for 10 minutes at a time and like really start to dig a little bit deeper than the news can. And if someone curses out or screams at us, we get to leave it in, which is kind of cool. You don't really get to see that on the media too much. Anyway, guys, that's gonna wrap it up for today. We had a good time out here in the Grand Central District of St. Petersburg. And I'm gonna go home and eat some protein to work on these guns. And by the way, I did take my first testosterone shot this week. That's right, I'm on testosterone supplements. So I think in 3 months, my body should look a little bit stronger. So we'll see what happens. And I'll see you guys next time as always. God bless Trump.